Highlands has been a unique passion project for everyone involved in the last 2 years, giving us some of our greatest Minecraft moments ever. It all started as a normal SMP exploring the world, building bases, finding diamonds, killing the dragon, raiding the end cities, and upgrading everything. How would you describe the early days of the realm?
It was fun. There was a lot of death and pain. Like Surf not finding any diamonds even though he mined like a 500 by 500 area or prism, just killing, working, and dying. But everyone got rich really fast. Starting the new realm was good because we have to start over and get a Leetrook and killing the Ender Dragon. Even though I was not there for killing the Ender Dragon, it was all fun.
In the months leading up to big changes, many of the current norms in Aquarius were set in motion, such as the lands of Surftopia, Postaria, and Africa had their roots sprouted in ground. How were the designs for the towns made?
Well, I don't know. I think y'all wanted a medieval vibe for Postaria and Africa, while Surf wanted a more industrial vibe for Surftopia.
However, the server began losing its appeal and charm as the weeks went on, until in the month of November 2020 a certain new handsome player joined and released his radical ideas, setting a historical feat in motion for the Highlands. This historical motion would later be referred to as the saving grace of the server, as it introduced a wacky concept into the SMP: politics. What did you think would happen to the server when politics were introduced?
I thought it was honestly a bit unnecessary at the time, but it grew to be a pretty good idea for the realm as a whole.
New and handsome player Ducklet declared himself and friend Fat as the president and vice president of the realm, while old members disagreed, leading to the first ever presidential debates. I know you ran in those elections. What inspired you to do it at the time?
I had some pretty good ideas for the realm that differed from Ducklet and Surf, along with a lot of experience in the realm. And if I'm being completely honest, back then I just didn't really want Ducklet to win. I can't really remember why that I had something against him and wanted him to lose.
There were 3 presidential candidates: the newcomer Ducklet, the wise AG Toaster, and actor and the owner Surfer BNY. But with 1 vote, Ducklet and Fat were able to pull out a victory. Ducklet and Fat, now being the official president and vice president, would end up living in a few remote locations with Array and Ryu for 7, and in Gummy. Dunkelin and New Dontopia, as they'd later be called, added to new districts to the map. Formations of these lands gave shelter to this ragtag group as they maintained order in the day. But in the night they became more power-hungry and declared war on Surftopia. How would you describe Aquarius Highlands after the first election?
It was better than before, and the realm wasn't dead anymore.
The war was full of both sides preparing for imminent attacks as the new Dontopatians tried to obtain effort. The Surfications began to build bunkers underground. What was your thought process when making those bunkers during the war?
The war started to get really tense. The Surftopans knew that we would need safety, so that's when we decided to build the bunkers.
This era would later be referred to as the funny war due to the lack of either side doing anything apart from defense, as well as a strange call for peace on the part of Dunkelin. As time went on, lots of plans for builds were made, all residing in a massive remake of the spawn area. Yet this was not where all the focus was, as dark times would grasp this era of the Highlands. The nations of Dunkelin and Akuran Surftopia put a stop to their squabble so they could combat the new problems. Those being the server becoming stale once again, griefings occurring, and hackings. What was your initial reaction to the hackings and griefings?
I was pretty frustrated on the events, and the reaction from the server did not help at all.
Do you believe the response to this could have been handled better, or was it handled as best as possible?
It definitely could have been handled better, as mods should have gotten more opinions as well as been more active on the matter.
In opposition to these problems, the government finally finished the rules, a prison had been planned for development, and those involved were being settled with one by one. As all of these events had become too much for President Ducklet to handle, another election had been announced to take place. Very much so to the dismay of President Ducklet, he knew that he had to participate. How did you react to the announcement of the second elections?
Didn't mind it too much, just thought, oh, okay.
Did you think that your candidate was capable to run?
Well, I had just came back from my one-day work vacation, so I didn't really know.
So he enlisted the work of a group to help create a domino effect and hope that would erase the role once and for all. The plan was to interrupt the debates by blowing up new candidates, the distracted prison, and working a gate while on stage. And while the chaos was going on, they would make their grand escape. This plan failed, however, as the stage was blown up. The realm subsequently reverted back to a state before it ever had been. What do you think could have been done to get more voter turnout?
More stuff for voters to do at the debates, like open chat to ask questions, then more polls.
Even with this minor hiccup, Ducklet and Aquarius Fat managed to retain their roles. Consequently, with no changes to the formula, the idea of Aquarius Highlands began to slowly dwindle away. And it didn't help that their president suddenly resigned at a time like this. This led to Fat, the vice president, taking up the mantle for the weeks leading up to the third election, accompanied by a new vice president. As the campaigns had begun, they had all seemed to be lost, as due to the instability of Ducklet resigning out of the blue, Fat and Aquarius weren't well coordinated with each other. This oversight led to the pair missing their rule deadline and subsequently being removed from the race, allowing for Prism to rise to a new power. This is where we are now, and as a way to inject Aquarius with new life, Prism has stated he will reset the realm and create a new one in its place. It should be changed from Aquarius Highlands going into the new realm.
Should be more strict on their rules, like not allowing cheaters after they get caught, as well as getting better admins.
Should the president role be continued?
Yes, as long as we get better mods with it.
Only time can tell what wacky adventures may happen on the new realm, but I've been Neil deGrasse Tyson, and this has been the history of Aquarius Highlands.